Hello and a warm welcome back to an episode of the When Dirt Cast, your go-to podcast for all things MFL, transfers, developments, updates, all that grand juicy stuff happening within MFL. As always, Jimbo and Calvinator, we're your hosts. One important note before we get started, none of what we chat about is financial advice. Do your own scouting or hire our director of Metaverse Football. Right, it's a Q&A summer episode. The reason we're doing this is because it's, one, the summer. As you're listening to this, Calvinator is back home in Holland and a little bit of a vacation. I am currently, when you listen to this, I'm in Croatia, living up in the nice hot Adriatic coastline that is Croatia. So we want to ensure we bring you When Dirt content for when we are on holiday, because we cannot disrupt our pattern of every Monday uploading an episode. We cannot let that happen.
Exactly.
Cannot let it happen. Exactly. That is right. So just before we went away, we did a little giveaway, and we said to enter the giveaway, which was for a 60 rated CDM age 19 and a 56 rated goalkeeper age 18. Obviously, with progression around the corner, those younger players will be a bit sought after, and how will they develop, and will they have long, prosperous, high-ceiling careers? We were giving these players away, and we asked you, the community, to basically reply with a question. And if you reply with a question, you get entered into the giveaway, and we read out your question on this summer Q&A. So what we've done here is all 20 of you who entered. Thank you very much for entering and submitting us a question. That is phenomenal from all of you. We'll go through, spin a reel, we'll answer the questions, and at the end, we will then spin another wheel, which we will then give two winners, and you will get one of the players each. Calvert, anything else you want to touch on, or shall we get straight into our questions?
I think you explained it well. Yeah, so the whole month of July will be a bit different in terms of content, but you can still expect an episode each Monday. So This episode, let's answer some questions from our listeners. So I have the list of 20 questions here in front of me, and you have the wheel.
Yes.
So I'll say let's spin it.
Let's spin it, yeah.
The first one.
So we're still going to bring you content every week. Some of it may just not have the full dev updates, weekly updates, because we're going to be in different parts of the world at times. We need to do it all in one.
Yes, exactly.
So our first number is number 12, please, Calvinator.
Number 12. It's from Jeremy Gonzalez, and he asks, which tactics do you prefer?
Which tactics?
So maybe formation, maybe other instructions. Which tactics do you prefer? So what would you say?
At the moment, I'm really liking high line, the highest line you can have, and the most compact. That is a combination at the moment I've been rocking with my two clubs, and I'm having quite a bit of success with. That's, I don't know if I want to go into more detail before I expose all of my strategic knowledge.
You Espartales,
yes.
That is exposed. So
yes.
What did you do there?
So with my Espartales, in summary, love possession, control possession in and out of defence, or in and out of possession, sorry. Team depth set to the highest line possible, compactness to the tightest block possible, and the width in the middle. That is me, Bosch. I'll cut that. Awesome. I'll cut that down.
Well, I think I like a lot of your tactical principles. The only thing I would do a little bit different is that I also want a bit more dribbles in there. So in football, you need to have a bit more risky play sometimes to make things happen, to break things open. So loads of runs, and also a bit of creative freedom, a bit of dribbles. Otherwise, if you keep passing the ball around with no creativity, you're never going to break some team parking the bus.
Yeah.
So I would say I personally like a bit more creative freedom, a bit more dribbling in there, but I love the controlled passing, the pressing, the high line. I'm also all for that.
Yeah, spot on. There we
spin,
go.
I would say. Spin.
Number 18, please.
18 is, who is, well, the question is a best player. So I would say, who is the best player in MFL? Who is the best player in MFL?
Spin on this. Is that best
By
player or is that best player of the game? Like, who's the best manager?
I guess player as in just like player.
Surely players in the
otherwise
the
you would say
player.
manager.
Yeah, the actual player. Who's the best player? I feel we've got a slight conflict of interest where we can't say Dirk. But statistically,
let's say we cannot say Dirk.
Statistically,
no.
Dirk.
Of course, Dirk.
Statistically, Dirk is not. Well, who is the best player?
Yeah, just maybe not. Or who do you think is the best player? Just like there's a couple of candidates, I think.
For someone that is, when I was England manager, I really struggled against. 93 rated Lars Tyson absolutely dominated me for England when I was playing against Denmark. So for me, in my experience, who I've played against, Lars Tyson.
Great choice. Who would I say? Well, I could also say Maciejewski, my Polish superstar. He's pretty amazing as attacker, or maybe just Erhard, this German all-round
Beast of a
midfielder.
centre mid, yeah.
Yeah. Or Claire, right? Also very all-round. So
yeah,
one of those choices. But I'll go for Maciejewski because I'm a bit biased with my Polish side.
I'll go Tyson.
Okay, Tyson Maciejewski.
Numero 19.
19 is from Köln Club, and he asks, do you have an... Well, he said academic club, so I think an academy. Yeah. Do you have an academy?
Not intentionally, but I could see my second club being naturally being an academy, in the sense that if I have players that I don't fit into the Wyverns, I'll push them down to my second club, which you could argue then is an academy. But in terms of youth, which I guess is what the academy's all about, really, the youth, isn't it? I don't have an academy club. Do you?
No, I think actually we talked about it before. Like I had this Corsair, so Casablanca Corsairs, then about a Colt club, so I moved them up, and then I had this lower team, and I want to maybe rename it Casablanca Corsairs Under 20, but then I call it Corsair Cove. So technically they're academy team because it's both within the Corsair franchise.
Yeah.
And I have the Casablanca Corsairs in gold and the Corsair Cove in iron. So you could say I have an academy club because it's within the same, bigger organization. But I think, technically all iron clubs function a little bit as an academy for my silver and gold.
Yeah.
But I'll say yes, I have the Corsair Cove, which is an academy of Casablanca Corsair.
Very nice. And there are plenty of other managers in MFL who do have academy clubs as well. I mean, I think Bosco, some people even have it as like youth. So he's got his Bosco Development Club, which is obviously the academy. So, yeah.
20. Christopher Lefrançois Vaudin, beautiful French name. He says, what's your go-to tactic? Well, we just talked a little bit about tactics, but go-to tactic. Well, I'll say what I have been using last season all the time is just to not do any team instructions. Everything will balanced.
Okay.
What I said before.
Yeah.
So I think my go-to is just don't do anything. Just keep it balanced and maybe do a little, and from there a couple of accents. So what about you? Go-to or?
See, I did do balanced one time last season, and that was for the Euros, and I got binned. So, by my past experience, leaving things on balance might not always be the best way. But I'm still a massive. My go-to is I love high lines in possession-based football. So I will always go in that possession, control, play out defense, and then have a high line. But I have to partner that with high pace defense, high physical defense, and then high passing throughout the team. And then I build the team around that.
Nice one. Yeah, I do prefer all of that too, but it's not my go-to.
Yeah. Right. Next question. It's going to be number 3.
Just number 3.
Just number 3.
Number 3 is your favorite formation. Okay, so we went from tactics, now formation.
Currently, my favorite is 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-1-2. So each of my clubs, one main runs 4-2-3-1 and my other club runs 4-3-1-2. So they're my 2 favorite formations.
Yeah, I would say 4-2-3-1 is also a nice formation, which I use quite often in many clubs. Yeah, what's my favorite? Well, I don't play it in MFL, but maybe in real life I would say this, like 3-5-2. There's 2 wingbacks. I really like that system. I think it's a great system. So maybe 3-5-2, 5 3-2. Those system with wing backs attacking. I like that a lot.
There you go. Different favourite formations, what we want to hear. And no formation is necessarily right or wrong. It's all personal. There are just our favourites. Number 10, please, Carbonator. Number 10.
Number 10. Is Gregorio Llorente related to Marcos Llorente?
Well, I did bring up pictures. Obviously, we know Marcos Llorente or Marco Llorente.
I know Marcos Llorente. I don't know who Gregorio Llorente.
He's the CDM 60 rated in MFL.
Okay.
I own him, but he's also the player in the giveaway. That's the reference. So he's also he's also the player in the giveaway.
Okay. Now I get it.
He's the player I'm giving
also
away.
Found there's one on LinkedIn. I found the Gregorio Llorente in Vallejo, California.
It could be the same person.
Who does risk assessment analysis. So I don't know who's more related to Marcos Llorente.
But are they related? The answer is we're not sure. We're not sure. We can't definitively say no. The chances are slim, but it's not zero.
When you win him, you can do DNA test.
Yeah. Ancestry.com, whatever it's called. And then a data breach comes and you lose all your DNA. Right. Spinning that wheel again. Number 2, please, sir.
Number 2 is from Bol Bioli. And he says, how much... Also, again, the English have to rephrase it a little bit.
How much?
So, how much does tactics influence, let's say, the outcome of the match, whether you win? So, let's say how much, when you win a match, how much of that was tactics? It's like, what role does it play?
Yeah, prior to this season, I didn't think it made a huge difference, but I think that might have been because I just got them so wrong. Now, tactics was so wrong that I didn't feel like I had an influence. Whereas this season, my Wyverns at the time of recording are 5-0. Well, we just actually lost a cup game. But in the league we're 4-0. And the first team I played against was Krakow Dragons, and they were a much stronger side, probably about 3 or 4 overall better in each line of formation. And we did some friendlies before we even played because we just friendly each other. And I was actually more 6-7 times out of 10 beating them. And I put that down to my tactics. So I think now, as the engine grows more and more, tactics will have more of an influence on the victory or the outcome of a match. I believe this season, for me, they're influencing my results much more than they have done in previous seasons. Yeah,
so if you have similar teams, similar overall, similar average...
Yeah.
Of course, then it matters a lot. But you're not gonna, like, Winsome is not gonna beat Meta Mercenaries with whatever tactic they try. So I think, it plays a big role when you face similar opposition. And then I would say, it's like 50-60% of the picture. Maybe 30, some nuances. If you have similar averages, like on, maybe some players have crazy good physical, also a bit more pace in your team.
Yeah.
And of course, luck is 10-20%.
I feel like at the moment, with your tactics, if you get them wrong, in terms of setup wrong, it really hinders your performance. But if you get them right, it really, really helps you. Like, I think it can help. It can help a lot. So, but it all depends on the opponent and the averages and the strength, things like that. But in my opinion, tactics do influence.
I agree. It feels more. Now. It feels
like if you get it right, you have more influence than you probably should. But if you get it wrong, you get punished hard. That's what I think sometimes. We can agree on that. Yes. Right. Next question. It's going to be number 4.
Number 4. Another lovely English question. We have some. How age will get gained with the progress? 1 year per season. So... I think so. How is age related to play progression, and will they get 1 year older per season? I think that's the plan, right?
Yes. So I think there was a bit of discussion on this recently in the Discord, where 6 weeks, we believe, and I think the NFL team are trying to do that and align with their calendars and schedules and player progression. That 6 weeks is a season, and a season is in theory a year.
It's a year.
So that becomes every year a playable age. One. So if they're 19 and they do a full season, they become 20. Just to give a lovely example that everyone can can follow on board with.
Yeah, so definitely like a football, one full season is 1 year, so players get 1 year older.
Yeah.
Although in time-wise, it will be like 6 weeks, so much shorter then. Of course, it's also better to speed up that
They'll get
little
grey
bit.
hairs quicker than we will. Maybe.
Yes.
But number 14, please, Calvinator.
14. What is your favorite stat in a player? Says He Trader. Your favorite stat in a player?
That's a blooming lovely question. That at the moment, because I love my possession-based football, I'm a sucker for a really high passing stat. That's my current favorite stat is passing.
Yeah. Well, maybe if I approach it from the other way around, it's like if one stat is really bad, like the one I miss the most if it's bad is physical. If one of my players just is bad physical, I don't even want to play him in one of my teams.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, like it just feels like he's not up to the task. He will lose all the duels in the midfield. So I don't have a lot of confidence. So maybe I should say physical because I need to have that physicality in there. But yeah, of course, passing.
So you'll go with so technically.
But because if that's the worst for me if it's really missing.
Yeah.
If I have a guy, same with pace. If I have an amazing guy, but he's like a snail with 30 pace, I really hate that.
Yeah, no, me too.
So maybe pace, like it needs to be pace. Okay, 16. Moving on.
16, please, sir.
What is your favorite team?
Ooh.
So I guess we can approach. Is this IRL, MFL?
Well, we go. Let's go both. So
let's go both.
My favorite MFL club is none other than my flagship. We'll call it my flagship. One of two. My flagship, the Wensum Wyverns. I found that they are the third oldest club in MFL. I think, no, or second oldest club in MFL. Someone beat me by like a couple minutes or seconds, which rattled me slightly because I wanted to be the oldest club that was established, but it wasn't, unfortunately.
Oldest club.
But one of the oldest established clubs, Wensum Wyverns. And then in real life, I am a Norwich City Football Club season ticket holder. And I'm a fan for as long as I've been alive and can use my brain, eyes, and all that good stuff. Since I can remember life, I've been a Norwich fan. There you go.
Great. Yeah, of course, MFL-wise, I would say one of my teams. Well, right now I think Korsakov. I really have grown fond of them with their 5-3 and their wingbacks.
Do you flip-flop? Because you've got a few clubs. Do you sometimes this season who is doing well, you go, yeah, I'll like them a bit more, and then...
Yeah, I think I just like them because of this experiment and the wingbacks, and it's also how I like to play.
Yeah.
So I think I would say that. Then MFL and IRL. Well, this is so hard. I've changed so many times as a kid, like clubs that
you little flip flop.
And I of course, I got a lot of hate for that at school. I just wanted to be like the odd one out. So when I lived in Eindhoven, I was like, oh yeah, I'm Feyenoord because my parents are from Rotterdam. And then when I studied like in another part, I was like, oh yeah, I'm from Eindhoven, so I'm PSV. And now in Poznan, I'm Warta and not a big Leg because I want to be special. But yeah, let's say PSV Eindhoven. Well, I like that they won the title last season and it's my hometown. So
there you go.
PSV. And now with Peter Bos, I really like him as a coach.
Yeah.
So I really support them.
Yeah. Very nice.
Okay, next one.
Number 7, please. 7.
Who do you think will win the Euro in MFL? Well, this is funny.
This is an interesting one because by the time you listen to this, it'll be done.
We know already.
It would have been yesterday. So, at the time of recording this, the semi-finals have yet to be played. And the semi-finals are Game 1, Germany-Portugal, and Game 2, Poland versus Turkey. And the reason that's so important for us is because good old mate Calvinator, you are the gaffer of Poland. So, there's only one answer you should be saying here.
Yes, no, Poland will win.
Poland will win.
Poland will win.
Yeah. We love all the other managers, Sturge, Joby, and I can't on the top of my head who the...
Ben Code?
Yeah, Ben Code, yeah.
Portugal.
Who's a Portugal manager. Thank you for that. But on the Wender cast, our gaffer, one of them was a massive failure, me, with England. But to make up for it, Calvinet is going to take him to glory. So that's who we're gonna.
So of course we'll win.
Who's going to win? And in real life, it's going to be England. But I said that for MFL Euros, and that went well, didn't it?
There's also a funny one. Yeah. No, Netherlands we're gonna do it. Netherlands, it's coming home. Yeah.
No chance, mate. It'll be funny. 15, please, sir.
Favorite play? Wait, do we have that?
No.
Was it second favorite player? 15.
Yeah, hang on.
What is your favorite player? I think we had it.
Oh, we must have had that one. Sorry, I must have not removed
was there another question?
No, I mean, what's your starting favorite player? No, we've not. I don't think.
Oh yeah, we had to know who is the best player in MFL. We had, and then what is your favorite player?
Who is your favorite player? Right, let's go. Let's go in real life now.
Yeah, IRL. Okay, do IRL.
In real life, my favorite player. We'll go retired and playing. But like favorite player of all time. Okay. So obviously, I'm a Norwich fan. I will have to go down the Norwich route here. My favorite player, if you've not watched him, is a little magician from Ireland that goes by the name of Wesley Houlihan, the Irish Messi. We called him. So he's nicknamed not Messi, Wezzy. We called him Wezzy. If you want to see some phenomenal clips of a little Irish wonder chap tearing it up in the second division of England. Wes Houlihan scored a belter of a goal against Sweden in the, I think it was the World Cup, or it could have been Euros. But yeah, Wesley Houlihan is my favourite player in real life.
So for me, retired, I'll pick 2 Dutch players, of course. So retired, I'll say Bergkamp in Dutch you say.
Yeah, nice.
The non-flying Dutchman.
Yeah.
Who did a lot of magic in Ajax Arsenal. And the Dutch team, of course. And then I'll say a player from the current Dutch team, Cody Gakpo. Because he's so
nice. Good
humble, great skills, great personality. And he just scored the winning goal in the final against Spain. So we won the Euro again after 1988.
In the Dutch media, have they given it as a Cody Gakpo goal? I think statistically, it's actually an OG.
No, I'm saying in the final against Spain.
Oh, so you're predicting that? Oh, okay.
No, this records one day after this.
So you're forecasting. Well, what happens when we forecast on this channel? You know what happens? The opposite happens. So it's going to be an own goal against England.
Maybe I'm the oracle here. I'm foreshadowing. Okay, next one.
11, please.
11.
Now, this is one I can
well, I think we just talked about it already, but do you prefer to play with possession or direct style? So controlled or direct? Well, you already said
possession-based. I love possession-based. Right? I love something. It's not. I love playing possession-based football in real life. I love playing it and watching it. And I almost wanted to force myself at MFL to play that style. So a lot of the players you'll look at, if you go onto any of my clubs now, look at the midfielders, look at the wingers, they will all have above, in Wyverns, I think my 4-2-3-1, the left and right mids, the lowest passing is like 79 on them. And the cam has 81, CDMs have 78 and 79. So they just have really high passing stats. I basically want to just absolutely Barcelona them, aside from I haven't got Barcelona caliber players, but the style of play, we're going to go for the old Pep G, the old PG, the old Pep Guardiola style of play. In possession-based football, baby. The boring stuff. Go on.
Yeah.
What about you?
No, I of course I like the same. Like you just possession is the best to control, direct. Yeah, hard to do. Risky, I would say.
But being from England, I'm always a bit impartial to a bit of direct as well.
Kick and rush.
Bit of rugby, no. Number 1, please, sir.
Number 1, Big Benson. He asked more English thing.
Stop saying that.
Yeah, it's just. Oh no, it's great. There's so many people who have their third language, right? English.
Oh yeah.
And it's great that they just write it down.
Even for me as well.
And as a teacher, I deal with this that's what I'm helping people with. So no problem there. But yeah, do young common cards, can they evolve into an uncommon or more with progression?
Yes. So
Yes.
a little thing we do know about progression. To quote an AMA from February 2023, every player will progress by at least 1 overall rating. There are no real maximums, but there is a very low chance, around about 2% chance, that a player progresses by more than 15. Obviously, the younger a player is, the more chances they'll have at improving, and that goes without saying. The higher the overall of the player, the harder it is to progress. So I think that's a really nice summary as to the potential that players have. And hopefully, maybe the time you're listening to this, some information about player progression has already been released. If not, hopefully very soon we'll hear a bit more about player progression and what it's all about. I've stopped sharing my screen by accident. I clicked the wrong button.
You said it well. Okay, next one.
Next one. So, next question. Can I have number 6, please, kind sir?
Number 6. This is a very big question.
Open-ended, I think. It's
what do you prefer? Yeah, what do you prefer in MFL? 0 to
I prefer when my teams win. That's what I prefer.
Too.
I prefer when managers actively rotate their sides, so it makes it competitive. But I also prefer when they don't, so I get an easy win.
I prefer only diplomatic language in Discord. That's what I prefer.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Avoid conflict.
I prefer when I get upgrades in my packs for my players. That's what I prefer. I prefer when I don't get abused for how I pronounce players on stream.
Many preferences.
But I prefer it when everyone joins MFL and keeps buying packs and players. We get more and more users. End of.
Yeah, and I prefer that there's a passionate community who listens to a podcast.
I think we've got some
MFL.
good answers there. Yep.
Yeah.
I prefer it when everyone who listens follows and leaves reviews and 5-star rating. Because if you don't, I don't prefer you. I think you're bad. So if you're listening to this right now and you're not following, you're not 5-star rated, you're not subscribed or like the podcast, go do so now. Otherwise, I will come to your door with Tingus Pingus and we'll give you a blood bar and we'll force you to eat it.
Surprise. Okay. Question 13.
Question 13.
Any tips? This is a nice one. Any tips for MFL newbies, club manager newbies?
Ooh.
Designer Shop 63 asks.
That's a very good question. So I'll say a tip first, Calver, and then I'll let you say one, and we can go back and forth until we think we've covered all the tips for newbies that are appropriate. I think if you've not done so already, to learn more about it, about MFL, without actually having to spend any money or anything like that, or buy a pack, etc., to understand the game more detail, the white paper is the best place to just learn and absorb information about MFL. Just get an understanding. What's this all about? Where's the NFT connection? How do you use NFTs? What are they? Where's that utilization from them? How do you play the game? What's the inspiration? What's the projection? Almost a non-dated roadmap as such. What's the vision? What's the vision for MFL as a game? And get an understanding of it. So I think without even doing anything, making an account or anything, just read the white paper and understand that, just to gain a bit of knowledge.
Definitely. Well, he also specifically says MFL club manager newbies. So if you are managing a club for the first time, I would definitely, we always say with tactics, don't panic.
Mm-hmm.
Don't keep changing your tactics. Maybe for one season right now, stick to one tactic, be a bit consistent, and see how it goes. I think that's what we usually say. Yeah. Another tip.
Yeah, sorry, I misread that because I didn't see the club bit in there. But yeah, I completely agree with you.
No worries. Read the white paper always.
Yeah, read the white paper.
Because you also know you can plan the future of your club a bit better, right? What you can expect is going to happen. So it's a good
things
tip.
like player progression, etc.
But
yeah, definitely the not changing tactics too much. Is it biased to say listen to the podcast for tactical advice? Listen to Calver's YouTube channel for tactical advice.
Yeah.
But I think also,
well, I would say also just go to scouting and first maybe sign a couple of players from there before you spend too much money,
Yeah.
you don't know what you should buy, etc. So just use some players from scouting. There's loads of auto accepts, low rev share.
And I think
guys,
if you're able to as well, just talk to other managers about, say, like what their experiences are like, which you can also listen to on the podcast. But sometimes, just chatting to a manager, maybe you want to play a particular formation and this manager always plays the formation. Have a chat with him. How do they get along with that formation? What are some of their tactics? The community here is great, and there's sub pockets or sub communities like the French, the Spanish. Now we've got the Italian, Portuguese, Turkish having more of an influence. Just get around and chat to people. But if you do want to listen to the podcast for a particular episode, for MFL newbies, not necessarily club, but MFL newbies, episode 36, we had Palmer on the podcast about MFL onboarding. So he'd recently at the time got a club, and we were basically talking to him about his experiences and everything like that, which I now believe, Palmer, if you're listening, is the second most played episode on the When Dirtcast now. So, which is great. Nice. So if you are an MFL newbie, whether you've bought a club, whether you've not, etc., and you want to listen to more about the MFL onboarding process and some of the questions you may have about the project, episode 36, you can hear it from a newbie there, and we basically talk to him about it all.
Awesome. I think that's a good answer.
We never give bad answers, mate, do we? So that's going to be number 9, please, Mr. Calvinator.
I like this question. How important is speed or pace in the game, do you think?
I think it's pretty important. I think it's something you should not neglect. You shouldn't not consider it. I think similar how you reversed the question earlier, which stats, if they were low, would you not want in a player? And it would be speed or pace. You wouldn't want a slow player. So yes, it's important, but I think it's important enough that you can't ignore it. You need to have a reasonable amount of pace for each position that you think is sensible or effective.
Yes, no, definitely. Like you need to have a decent pace at least for each player. I think it's pretty important. Like just think of a center back who loses a duel because he's too slow, or a striker who has great shooting but never gets in position because he's too slow. Or it's important for each position. So I always focus, like in the marketplace when I filter, always space and physical, minimum 60 for all players I buy. Minimum 60 physical, minimum 60 pace, all players I buy.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a decent level for me.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty important.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you do have like slow defenders, you can maybe negate the impact by having a lower line, so you can use tactics to benefit the slower pace. But to answer your question directly, how much is pace important in the game? I would say probably a 3.5 to 4 out of 5 is on its importancy level.
Yes.
Right, 3 more questions left, and then we're going to spin the reel twice for the 2 winners of the giveaway we're doing. So number 8, please, kind sir.
8, Vogon says, when season 1? When season 1? Well, we talked about it in the previous episode with Ron John. So when season 1 is definitely in this year,
yes,
2024.
This calendar year. And why we say that, to give some context, a couple of weeks ago now, when you listen to this, there was some chat in one of the mornings in the Discord channel, and someone asked about season 1 or something along those lines. And I think it might have been Darkside replied back saying, maybe a couple seasons or so, maybe beginning of next year. And then Yak replied back going, 2024. We were like, oh, okay, by the end of 2024. So it's almost indirect confirmation, unofficial, unofficial confirmation of a season 1 happening before December the 31st. So 5 months' time is the timeline, which is very excited for. If that's when it happens, but obviously we know they take their time, get things right, but hopefully end of this year, season 1 will be coming up to your clubs.
Yeah, I would say so, to October, November-ish, my prediction. Okay, see one other question that's tied to this and one that's totally not tied to it.
So,
let's see which one
question
first.
5, please.
5, yeah, that's the one related. So it says, when do you think we will see promotion relegation in the game? Gaetano asks. So, same timeline then, right? When season 1 starts?
Yeah, I think
October,
it'll be season
November.
1 starts, but I was maybe going to add on to the question a bit and ask you this, Calva. A bit like progression, how we've been told in the past that we'll probably have a season beforehand of like a dummy run of progression. Do you think we'll get a dummy run of promotion relegation, or do you think it's a simple enough concept we can go straight into it?
It should. I think it should be pretty straightforward. Like when they already make the divisions, right? They make the schedule, they make the leagues.
Yeah.
So you just, although it might be harder on the back end with changing the NFTs from an Iron Club to a Stone Club, it already sounds painful. Right?
Yeah.
Imagine your Iron Club, your NFT being changed.
Well, I guess they've done the work on the visuals for players changing, right, from rare to legendary to uncommon.
Yeah, so that should also be okay.
That hard work should already have been, pained and gone through for that. So for the club, it should be easier, touch wood, or in hindsight, in theory, easier.
Yeah, I guess technically this should be much easier than play progression. It's just okay. This team didn't have enough points; they go down.
I think maybe
change it.
Yeah,
and
like
go.
a couple of blog posts or some, like maybe an AMA soon around the time to explain, or even like a really cool like graphic video that shows, bottom 3, top 3, or however. I can't remember the exact format, but then they go down and it shows it all, so everyone knows it really clearly what relegation looks like. Because for some people in some parts of the world, that's not a thing, so they'll have to get used to that. Right, and then on to the final question.
So last one.
Well, I don't need to spin the wheel for it. It's number 17.
Yeah, we don't need to spell. It is from Sicko MFC. He asks, who will be the most surprising and major transfer of this summer? I guess he means more IRL.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Any transfer you think is going to happen?
I think we've probably got to look at it in terms of, we all know when it comes to football, when the major tournaments happen, there is an inflationary, I would say, process. What's the word I'm looking for here? Inflationary.
Yeah, like some players have a good tournament.
Of performers in the tournament.
Yeah, yes.
And I'm trying to think off my head who's played for.
Well, it says most surprising and major transfer of the summer. Like surprising, major. Based on the tournament, any thoughts? Or
trying to think who might.
I think. Well, that's not surprising.
Well, there's two players that come to mind. Maybe I think the goalkeeper from Man City might go to Saudi, and I wouldn't partially be surprised if someone like KDB might leave, De Bruyne might leave as well. I think he's got one more season in him, but he's getting to a point now where you see online that he's not totally against going to Saudi.
So maybe Saudi Arabia.
So maybe KDB.
to
I'm not sure
Saudi
how
Arabia.
much like substance is in that, but it's definitely one that's on the table. Put it that way.
Yes. Well, maybe Weghorst will play so good. He's such a ridiculous player. He's not so good, but every time he does something.
He's good for the Dutch, I feel, or good in like big moments.
Maybe he will go to Saudi Arabia.
Weghorst to Saudi Arabia.
Weghorst to Saudi Arabia. Yeah, could happen with Ronaldo next.
Or maybe does someone from the Saudi come back? Like does someone like N'Golo Kante or Ruben Neves come back into?
Would be nice.
Because Kante's played phenomenal, even the Euros. Like he looks like he's never been in Saudi. He's never played against
Henderson. Henderson came back.
Oh yeah,
to Ajax.
Yeah, and I saw they lost, I think, in a pre-season friendly the other day, didn't they? I think, and he was playing. But yeah, I think maybe on a surprise note, some sort of big Saudi move. That's quite an easy answer to say, but I think maybe like a top
maybe
side.
Either Tony or something.
Yeah, Tony could go to Arsenal. I think he's got the wrong personality to go to Arsenal. I don't think Arteta will be able to put up with it. But I think a Man City player or two goes to Saudi. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay, well, we'll see. So we had all our questions, and now we have our lucky wheel. So yeah, we just had all those numbers, all those numbered questions. We'll spin the wheel again and then check which manager asked the question, and they will get one of the players. So which player first? Your Spanish Llorente?
Let's do the older player, which is the higher rated player, the Spanish Lorente. So it's a 60 rated CDM, Spanish, as you said, age 19. So I'm going to spin this wheel. Whichever number it lands on is going to be the winner of said player. So it looks like it's going to be number 4, please, Calvinator. Who is number 4?
4 is J. Mendes Academy.
J. Mendes Academy. So Academy, young player, could be right in the, right up the street.
It's great for the Academy of J. Mendes.
So let me just write that down. J. Mendes Academy. Congratulations. Yes. I will be in contact when this comes out, or maybe the week after, because I'm technically in Croatia, living up on a nice beach in the Adriatic coastline right now with a beer in my hand. So, but I will be in contact with you about giving you your player. So, Calva, do you want to say who the other player is?
Yeah, the other player is a talented English goalie with 56 rated, 18 years old.
Yes, Kenneth Richards.
Richards.
Kenneth Richards. That's an English name I've ever heard one before. Kenneth Richards. Right. So we'll spin this, and it's going to be number 6.
Number 16 is Sorare Club.
Sorare Club. A bit of cross-pollination with Sorare MFL, both football NFT games, both French-based. There's a little bit of synergy going on there. We've seen a lot of players recently come from Sorare to MFL, which is great to see. Welcome.
Sorare. Yes, so those are all the questions we've given away the players. Thank you for sending them in, and hope there were some useful answers to this. We'll definitely do it again when there is some
yes, we usually do it. We usually do about 4 Q&As a year. I think we did one in Easter, one around Christmas. We'll probably do one in about October time, and then we'll do one at Christmas again. I think it's a really nice way for you to answer in any questions. It can be literally anything. We'll just answer it. Obviously, mainly MFL related, but you can answer anything at all. And it's also a chance for us to give away some players to you as well. So, all the appreciation that you guys give us on the streams, on the podcast, the listens, all the feedback, we want to always try and give back in some way. If we can give away a $5, $6 player or so, we'll do that. So
we do the hashtag.
Yeah, the hashtag. Have you been thinking of anything? Because
because J. Mendes Academy won, and we talked about what's your academy team. We do hashtag When Academy.
Hashtag When Academy. I love that. Academy. Right, we'll keep that all in. Hashtag When Academy to prove you've been listening to 50 minutes of this. Hashtag When Academy. So put it in the Discord, put it on Twitter, put it everywhere. Let them know, hashtag When Academy. So without further ado, we're going to bring this episode to a close. As we've just mentioned, thank you to all you who submitted questions. Well done. Congratulations to those who won some of the giveaway prizes, those players. And we'll see you this time next week for an episode of the Wender Cast. Thank you for listening.